shudder at the music of a hoot owl in the pines. You're on Lonesome Standard Time.
Lonesome Standard Time is track number 7 on this All-Star Duets CD. And it was a top 10, actually I think it got to 8 for Kathy Mattea in 1992. It got to number 1 for Glenn Duncan and myself and Lonesome Standard Time the same year. And we won IBMA Song of the Year for our cut of it. The song came about by Glenn and I were playing at the Bell Cove Club in Hendersonville. We were trying to come up with a name for the band. And we had woodshedded along with Lance Leroy, who was managing us at the time. We had woodshedded all afternoon until, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. And we just couldn't quite come up with the thing that said what we wanted people to think that our music was going to be. But we'd written all these things down. We'd written Mountain Standard, and we'd written Lonesome Mountain Boys, and all these things, you know, all these things. It just wasn't ever quite it. They get tired and go home. I still can't let it go. I'm still tinkering with it. I've got 2 or 3 yellow pads right there, and I'm writing things down. In some way, I wrote this combination of words together, Lonesome Standard Time. And the minute I saw that, I said, dude, that is it. So I go call Glenn. I said, Glenn, I think this is the name that we want to call this band. He said, well, that's it. So we called Lance, and he says, oh man, that's it. Well, just in a few days, maybe less than a week, I told Jim Rushing that we had named this band Lonesome Standard Time. And I said, man, it would be great if we had a song that would go with that. And he says, well, let's just go upstairs and try to write this thing. So I had this little guitar lick that I'd been tinkering around with anyway, that I wound up sticking on the front of it. We wrote it in one day. I'm working out in Nashville someplace with Bluebird probably, and this is, I don't know, 3 or 4 months down the road. And 2 or 3 people have tried to cut it, but Kathy Mattea comes in, and she's got a recording contract with Mercury, and she'd already had hits, you know. So she was doing a show out there, like some sort of a benefit thing. We were on either the early show and she was on the late one, or she was on the early one, we were on the late. Whatever, I didn't know her very well, but we kind of cross-tracked, you know, and she says, hey, I just recorded your song, you know, this Lonesome Standard Time. I got Ray Flack playing, it's gonna be great, you know. And we had just recorded it, you know, and I was like, wow, that is really amazing. So, sure enough, it was a single and a video, and Kathy, just one of my favorite singers, you know, so she was so gracious to come in and do this for us. And it's, I like the way this track came out. It really moves along.
Oh, you hear those sad songs, do you hang on every word? Do you swear, cry and fiddle is the sweetest sound on earth? Do you shudder at the music of a hoot owl in the pines? You're on Lonesome Standard Time. Well, if you shudder at the music of a hoot owl in the pines, you're on Lonesome Standard